All right, so we're diving into bed bugs today.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, these critters, they're like that itch you just can't scratch. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about those little vampires that turn your peaceful sleep into a horror movie marathon.
And what's scary is how many people don't even realize they have a problem until it's a five-alarm infestation.
Right. Like you don't just find one bed bug and call it a day.
Exactly. It's like they're ninja masters of multiplying.
Okay, so speaking of multiplying, we've got this excerpt here. 43, The Hidden Dangers of Bed Bugs.
Oh,
And
this is a good one.
it is. And one of the things it mentions is that female bed bugs,
Oh, boy.
they could lay hundreds of eggs in their lifetime. Hundreds.
It's crazy, right? Like, we're talking exponential growth here.
Okay, so imagine hundreds of these tiny eggs hiding in your mattress seams behind your headboard, like dust bunnies from hell.
And those eggs are so small, they're like trying to find a grain of sand on a beach.
Ugh. It's like trying to find that missing sock in the dryer, but 1,000 times worse.
Yeah, but instead of a sock, it's a blood-sucking insect.
Okay, so we're not just talking about the ick factor here, right?
Oh.
This excerpt goes beyond the bites
No, absolutely.
and talks about some serious health risks that come with these little vampires.
Yeah, you're not just dealing with the bites themselves, which, by the way, are no picnics,
Oh, tell me about it.
but you've also got the potential for secondary infections from all that scratching allergic reactions and even like psychological distress.
Oh, yeah, the mental toll that these things can take is huge.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's not just the physical itching, it's the thought of those things crawling
Yeah.
on you.
In your bed.
Exactly. And knowing they're there, even if you can't see them, it's like that feeling you get when you think someone's watching you, but amplified by like 1,000.
Right. It's creepy. It really messes with your head. And you know, this excerpt, it actually cites the Journal of Environmental Health.
Oh, wow. So this is legit.
Totally. And they talk about how bed bug infestations have been linked to like serious anxiety, sleeplessness, even depression.
It's like your own home becomes a haunted house.
Right. You're constantly on edge. You can't relax. You're always anticipating the next bite.
And you know what's even crazier? This document says these critters, they can survive for months without feeding.
Oh, yeah. They're like the survivalists of the insect world.
Months. Months. Like you could go on vacation thinking you've starved them out, come back, and they'd be there like, welcome home. We've missed you.
Read it for a midnight snack?
Talk about adding insult to injury. So the question is, how do we even begin to evict these unwanted tenants?
Well, the good news is there are a few different strategies.
Okay.
But of course, each one has its own pros and cons.
There's always a catch, right?
Well, this document, it highlights a few different methods, like chemical treatments, you know, like the classic bug spray.
Right.
Then there are heat treatments, basically turning your home into a bed bug sauna.
Oh, wow.
And then there's this thing called cryonite, which is like flash freezing them.
Okay, that sounds intense. So it's like choosing your weapon in a video game.
Kind of. But like in any good video game, the bad guys, they always seem to level up right.
Ugh, don't tell me they're becoming resistant to our weapons.
Well, this document did mention something about insecticide resistance.
So they're like the supervillains of the insect world, always one step ahead.
It seems that way, which is why it's so important to really understand your enemy, in this case, the bedbug.
Know thy enemy right. So we're not just talking about brute force here. We need a strategy.
Exactly. And that's where understanding the bedbug life cycle is crucial.
Okay, so like their weaknesses, their habits.
All of it. Because that knowledge is what allows us to use a more holistic approach, something like integrated pest management or IPM.
IPM, that sounds official, IPM. So that's like the strategic approach to bed bug control, right?
Right. It's not just about whacking them with a can of bug spray. It's about outsmarting them in the long run.
Okay, so it's like a game of chess with these little bloodsuckers.
Exactly. We're talking about understanding their biology, their behavior, even using the environment against them. It's about creating a long-term solution, not just a quick fix.
So we're not just killing bugs, we're creating a home where they wouldn't even think about setting up shop. And this source, it mentions something about regular inspections being a part of that.
Oh, absolutely. Because remember those tiny eggs we talked about?
Yeah, the ones that are practically invisible.
Those ones. Well, regular inspections are key to catching them before they hatch and unleash a whole new generation of bedbugs. We're talking like a full-on sweep of the mattress headboard, even checking behind picture frames.
Okay, so I'm picturing myself with a magnifying glass and a detective hat, like meticulously searching every nook and cranny of my house.
You got it. It's all about being proactive. But sometimes even the best detective needs backup, right?
True. And that's where those mattress encasements come in.
You got it. They're like those little hazmat suits for your mattress, completely sealing it off.
So you're trapping any existing bugs inside, and keeping any new ones from getting in.
It's like a bed bug Alcatraz. And that's not all. This document also mentions cleaning techniques, like really getting in there.
Not just like a quick sweep under the rug.
And no. We're talking using a stiff brush on those mattress seams, washing and drying your bedding on the highest heat possible, and even breaking out the steam cleaner for carpets and furniture.
Wow, these little guys sound almost indestructible.
Yay.
But speaking of intense treatments, we talked about cryonite and heat treatments earlier. What's the lowdown on those?
Okay, so cryonite, it's like the precision strike of bedbug control, using extreme cold to freeze them on contact.
Okay.
Super effective for those hard-to-reach spots, but it doesn't have the same, like, penetrating power as heat.
So you're saying for a full-blown infestation, cranking up the heat might be the way to go.
Exactly. It's like hitting the reset button on your entire living space. We're talking about raising the temperature to a level that's lethal for bedbugs at every stage of life. Eggs, nymphs, adults, the whole shebang.
Wow, that's reassuring, especially with them developing that resistance to insecticides.
Yeah, that's definitely a game changer. And while those chemical treatments can still be effective in some cases, that growing resistance, it really highlights the importance of an integrated approach.
So not putting all our eggs in one basket.
Exactly. We've got to use all the tools at our disposal to stay one step ahead of these little bloodsuckers.
So we've covered the battlefield, we know the enemy, and we've got our weapons ready.
Yeah.
What's the one thing our listeners should take away from all of this?
You know, I think the biggest thing is to remember that knowledge is power. When it comes to bed bugs anyway. The more you know about them, the less scary they become. It's not about living in fear, it's about understanding how to protect yourself.
Like they say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Right. We talked about encasements, inspections, even turning your home into a sauna if you have to.
And don't underestimate the power of a good vacuum in a hot dryer. Simple but effective.
Absolutely. But let's say the worst happens and you've got a full-blown bedbug situation. This excerpt mentioned professional pest control. What should people look for when they're choosing a service?
It's like finding a good mechanic or a contractor. You don't just pick a name out of a hat. You want someone certified with experience. And don't be afraid to ask questions about their methods, the products they use, what kind of guarantees they offer. So find a bedbug exterminator you trust who can handle the situation.
Exactly. And remember, you're not alone in this. Bedbugs are a common problem, and there are professionals out there equipped to handle it.
Well, that's a relief to hear. It's been a fascinating and slightly itchy journey into the world of bedbugs. We learned about their sneaky habits, the health risks, and most importantly, how to take action.
Remember, the key is vigilance and a proactive approach. Use what we talked about today, and you can significantly reduce your risk of an encounter with these unwelcome guests.
And on that note, sleep tight, everyone, and don't let the bedbugs bite.